It's expected that indeed your hands are lifted.
À ń wò pé ní tòótọ́ yẹ kí ọwọ́ rẹ wà lókè ni.
When we are telling him, Lord, we bow
Nígbà
before
tá a bá
you.
sọ pé Olúwa a wólẹ̀ níwájú yín.
All of us also ought to be in that position.
Gbogbo wa ló wá yẹ ká wólẹ̀ níwájú rẹ̀ ní
We saw
tòótọ́.
the angels, the 24 elders,
A
the
rí àwọn
beasts.
àgbààgbà mẹ́rìnlélógún.
They fell down before him.
Wọ́n wólẹ̀ níwájú Ọlọ́run.
That is worship.
Eléyìí ni ìyìn.
Worship involves submission.
Ìyìn ó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ìjọ̀wọ́ ara ẹni.
Submission to his lordship.
Jíjọ̀wọ́ ara ẹni fún Ọlọ́run tó ga jùlọ.
But now we talk about hymns.
Nígbà tí a bá wá ń sọ nípa àwọn orin ìyìn sí Ọlọ́run.
Hymns are also the means by which we express that revelation of who God is.
Nínú orin yìí ni a ti ń fi hàn ìran ohun tí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àti fi hàn.
And hymns are recognized both in heaven and on the earth.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a sì rí mọ̀ lọ́run àti ayé ohun tí ìyìn jẹ́.
Why Jesus was here on the earth,
Nígbà tí Jésù wà lórí ilẹ̀ ayé,
he sang hymns
ó kọ àwọn orin ìyìn
with his disciples.
pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yìn.
In Matthew chapter 26,
Nínú ìwé Mátì orí kẹrìndínlọ́gbọ̀n
from verse 26 to
láti
30.
ẹsẹ̀ kẹrìndínlọ́gbọ̀n.
Matthew 26 from verse 20. Jesus took bread and blessed it and broke it and gave it to the disciples and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, "Drink ye all of it. And this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." And then in verse 30, and when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. That was where he was arrested. They sang hymn.
Wọ́n kọ orin ìyìn nígbà tí wọ́n kọ tán.
That was at the celebration of communion.
Eléyìí ní ṣíṣe àjọyọ̀ gbígba ara Olúwa.
That will show that even Jesus recognized the worship through hymns.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó fi hàn pé Jésù tara rẹ̀ ó mọ rírì ìyìn nípa orin kíkọ.
Beloved, hymns are full of inspiration.
Àwọn orin yìí wọ́n kún fún àwọn ìmísí.
And we need to understand that.
A dẹ̀ ní láti ní òye wọ̀nyí.
God helping us, we might have one or two stories being told on how these hymns were.
Ọlọ́run yóò ràn wá lọ́wọ́ láti àwọn ìran wà lẹ́yìn orin yìí.
Those who wrote them, they didn't just sit down to formulate words.
Àwọn
They
tó
were
kọ
inspired.
wọn ò kàn déédéé jókòó aru wọn sókè ní kí wọ́n tó kọ.
The inspiration came many a times by encounters.
Èrù sókè máa ń wá lọ́pọ̀ ìgbà nígbà ohun tí àwọn ọmọ yìí
Some of them
lójú
by
kọ.
experiences.
Àwọn ìrírí wọn.
And Apostle Paul encouraged believers to sing hymns.
Paul àpòsílẹ̀ wá rọ àwọn onígbàgbọ́ kí wọ́n máa kọ orin yìí.
In Ephesians chapter 5,
Nínú ìwé Éfésù orí karùn-ún
verses 18 and 19.
ẹsẹ̀ kejìdínlógún.
Ephesians 5, 18 and 19.
Éfésù orí karùn-ún ẹsẹ̀
He said,
kejìdínlógún.
"Be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord." Now, one or two things you pay attention to here.
Kan méjì kan tẹ́ máa kíyèsí ní bíbá yìí.
Number one,
Àkọ́kọ́,
he said we should be filled with the Spirit.
ó ní kí a kún fún ẹ̀mí mímọ́.
And the product of it in verse 19.
Èso rẹ̀ ní ẹsẹ̀
He
kọkàndínlógún
said,
ni.
speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns.
Ó ní bíbá ara ẹni sọ̀rọ̀ nínú ìwé sáàmù àti orin yìí.
So even when we are singing hymns,
Nígbà tí a bá ń kọ orin yìí,
they are full of messages.
wọ́n kún fún àwọn ọ̀rọ̀.
And how I wish that our hearts are connected to the messages of hymns.
Báwo ló ṣe wù mí tó kí ọkàn wa sopọ̀ mọ́ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nínú ìwé
I
orin
want you to pay
yìí.
attention to the hymns we are going to sing
Mo fẹ́
tonight.
kí a fiyèsí àwọn orin tí a ó máa kọ ní àṣálẹ́ yìí.
if you are in the spirit of the writer,
tó o bá wà nínú ẹ̀mí olùkọ́ orin yìí sílẹ̀,
you can't sing any of those hymns and nothing happens to
o
you.
kàn lè kọ àwọn orin wọ̀nyí kí ó má sí nǹkan kan tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí
He
ọ.
says, speaking to yourselves,
Ó ní kíkọ orin yìí sí ara yín,
ministering to yourselves.
iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ sí ara yín.
There are full messages in hymns.
Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó kún wà nínú orin
And
yìí.
it talks about spiritual songs.
Ó tún sọ nípa àwọn orin ti ẹ̀mí.
Sing, making melody in
Kí
your
a
heart.
máa
to the
kọ
Lord.
orin kí a sì máa yọ̀ sí
I've heard
Ọlọ́run.
of people who gave their lives to Christ only by listening to
Èmi
hymns,
ti gbọ́
to
nípa àwọn tí ó
songs.
fi ayé wọn fún Jésù nípa títẹ́sí sí orin yìí.
There are situations where demons have been cast out just by singing certain
Ọ̀pọ̀
songs.
ìgbà ni ẹ̀mí èṣù jáde nípa kíkọ orin yìí.
When I was introduced to deliverance ministry,
Nígbà tí mo wà nínú iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ ti ìtúsílẹ̀,
the brother who introduced me to it just called me and said, "Bro Sunday, come."
arákùnrin kan ló pè mí, wọ́n ní ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ wá.
And I followed him. I
Mo dẹ̀
didn't
tẹ̀lé
know
wọn.
it was the